Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Walid. I am the CEO of UBI. And today we're going to talk about how to analyze financial reports using AI. And more specifically, we're going to focus on accurate extraction and AI-driven or generative-driven analysis. So what is Kudra? So Kudra is the latest product of UBI. And UBI was founded back in 2020 as a data labeling platform, specifically to train AI models, where companies can upload their documents, they can label it, and then they can basically train custom AI models for their specific use case, whether it's healthcare or finance or supply chain logistics. Since our inception, we have about 500 customers or so, including Fortune 500 companies. And we are definitely growing in that space. And very recently, actually, in a couple months ago, we developed this new application called Kudra with the purpose to automate data extraction and intelligence from unstructured documents, so any type of unstructured documents. So the idea here is you can send any type of documents like PDFs, images, handwritten, scanned images, and then you upload them to Kudra, and Kudra is able to understand your documents and extract relevant information from it, and it will output to you specific information that is relevant to your business. Specific entities, tables extracted, different relationship between different entities that are mentioned in the documents, different summaries and analysis. And the goal is to basically transform your unstructured documents into structured information that you can basically later on do some search on it or query it with questions, and you get answers. So that is the idea behind Kudra. And so the platform has basically three main aspects about it. The first aspect is we really perfected the extraction process. So we basically understand that extraction is really important for any downstream application later on if you want to analyze it. So you have a no-code platform that allow you to basically extract any information from your documents. And we equip you with different features such as a state-of-the-art OCR out of the box. We have also up to 5 or 50 plus pre-trained AI models that you can use out of the box. These AI models have been trained to understand specific documents such as invoice extraction, contract and legal, bill of lading, resume extraction, and so on. In addition to that, we also have generative extractors. Those are GPT-based extractors. And those are not trained on a specific use case, but you can actually instruct them to extract whatever information that you need. So we have integration with OpenAI, Gemini, and Claude. And finally, we also provide you with the ability to train your own model. So you don't have to rely on generic models or the GPT extractors. You can also train your own. So we provide you a full-on interface where you can basically teach the AI what are the most important information in your documents, and the AI is able to kind of extract it correctly. The second aspect of this application is the interpretation. So in addition to the accurate extraction that we provide you, you can also analyze that data. So we provide you with generative AI capability, where you can basically feed that structured information and extract insights from it using generative AI. And the third here, and the most important one here, is the workflow builder. So we know that each use case is different. So we're not like static. So it's not just OCR, extraction, and output. You can actually assemble different services, chain them together to basically analyze in a very customizable way your document. So for example, you could, in this case, you could extract tables. So use the table service. You can extract images. You can also analyze forms. And so on. So you have over 20 services, AI services, you can chain together to basically analyze any information from your documents. So we think of this as the most really comprehensive intelligent document processing tool that you can use to basically analyze your document, extract and analyze your documents. So the question is, what is the purpose of this? Why are we focusing so much on documents? So documents, they're part of they're unstructured, so they're part of this data, what's called dark data, which is basically unstructured data that has a lot of information, but you can't really use because it's very disorganized and messy. And this can be in the form of emails, reports, PDFs, financial PDFs, transcripts, like quarterly reporting transcripts from companies, for example, websites, and so on. And this amount of unstructured data is actually growing compared to the structured data. So we will see actually this gap opening more and more over time. So there's a real need to be able to digest this information, unstructured information, and to extract meaningful insights from it. And that's where Kudra comes in. And therefore, so for this webinar, we're going to focus specifically on financial due diligence, and for a reason. So the financial statements, similar to the one that you see on the right side, is a little bit messy. So you have a lot of unstructured information. So these are hundreds of pages of companies' reports. They report about their financial health, their risk factors, and they contain complex tables. They don't follow a certain layout. There's a lot of unstructured text between tables. The information is scattered. Sometimes you have the financial metrics mentioned in the table, and sometimes it's in the text. It really makes it difficult to structure it and distill the information from it. And that's what we're going to focus on today. Basically, let me do this here. So for today's webinar, we're going to go ahead and try to decode or extract information from the 10Qs. These are quarterly reports from public companies. And we're going to use Kudra for that, for the extraction, because we would like a very accurate extraction. And also, we're going to feed that information to Claude in this case, and we're going to show what you can do with it. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to upload our financial 10Qs. Those are hundreds of PDFs. We're going to create a workflow. This is using Kudra Workflow Builder, so I'm going to show you how that works. We're going to extract and analyze the information from 10Qs. We're going to discuss specifically what type of information we're going to extract. And finally, we're going to export our data in a CSV file, and then we're going to feed that CSV file to Claude. And then here we're going to ask Claude questions about our extracted data and do some analysis. And Claude is very good at that. It has one of the highest reasoning capability so far in the LLM space. So we're going to take advantage of that and see what we can get. So let's move on to the demo right now. Let's go quickly to the application here. Okay, so this is the Kudra application. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to start with this step here. So this is the Kudra application. What you see here, there are different ways you can use this. You can basically use our pre-trained AI models that I mentioned. So you have over 50 plus pre-trained AI models. Some are for table extraction, some are for invoice, W2, W9, purchase orders, ID, and so on, receipts. But what we're going to do today is we're going to create our own workflow. So we're going to head to the workflow section here on the left side. This is our document workflow. And I've already created one. So it's called financial extraction. So we're going to open it. Let's open that. So yeah, basically, this is the workflow creation dashboard. The first step is to basically define what type of imports. We're going to import PDFs, so we toggle this. We also can import pictures, so we can toggle this as well. And in the processing step here, this is where we're going to define how our documents is going to be processed. So we're going to use this service. So if you open this here on the left side, you'll see the list of services here that you can use. These are all AI services that you can use out of the box. One of them is called Custom Extractor. So we can open that. I already just created this. And here, basically, this is a model that we have trained to understand instruction about specific labels you want to extract. So basically, you can basically give it the label that you would like to extract. For example, let's say I want to extract from my financial statements, I would like to extract the revenue, cost of goods, for example, goods prior year. So I press enter. So this label is going to be fed to the model, and the model is trying to understand, trying to extract the information based on this label. And here you can define how many occurrences do you think the label will happen. So you can select required only once. That means it will only find it once, or it can find it multiple times, and so on. So these are the labels I already predefined. So in this, because we're dealing with 10 queues, so I'm looking for total assets current year, total asset prior year, total liability, and so on, cost of revenue. So that's what we're looking to pull from the documents. In addition to that, because as I mentioned earlier in my presentation, is these 10 queues, they also have unstructured text. So we also want to analyze the text itself, because it really conveys a lot of important information. And so the text that we would like to pull from, the information that we want to pull from the text is basically this. So basically, we chain this GPT. In this specific case, we're using OpenAI GPT. And you can select GPT 3.5 or 4.0 here. And here we ask GPT specifically to extract all the risks. What are the material factors from the financial report that can make investment in this company speculative or risky? And please output the information in bullet points. So what we are instructing the LLM here to do is to read the text. And here we give it this variable input text, which basically takes the content of your PDF, and it will add it to this prompt. So it will be added here. And then we're asking it basically, look at this text and please extract all the, the risky factors mentioned. And we chain this after our custom extractor here. And you can chain multiple things. So I can chain another GPT here, and I can ask it to summarize the document for me. You can chain multiple, basically, services together. And that's it. So this is the workflow. And here, one additional step before we save this is I add a post-processing step. As you know, some data can be a little bit different from one another. So we want to normalize, basically, we would like to normalize the data. So we do a post-processing step where we would like to convert all these entities to integer. So integers. So we toggle this on. You also have the option to do a lot of post-processing, like changing the date format, redacting labels, converting currency, and so on, find and replace. So this is a post-processing step that will normalize your data so it's cleaner when you export it out. So let me go back here, and I will show you what's the result so far. So I have already processed these PDFs. I have NVIDIA. Actually, let's start with a company called Start Engine. It's a crowdfunding company. It has publicly financial statements available. So this is how it looks like. So if I open one of them, this is what it looks like. So I have this thank you of Start Engine crowdfunding. And I was curious about, like, is this thank you? Sorry, the Start Engine, is this a good company to invest in or not? So we run this through the workflow, and this is the data that has been extracted, as you can see on the right side. This is all the labels that we have defined. So if I click on this, I can see that it went ahead, it went through this table, and it pulled the right information. This is the total assets prior year. This is the current year also. We have the total liabilities mentioned, the stockholder equity, and so on. So you can see all these financial metrics have been extracted: income current year, income prior year. So in addition to that, you can see that it pulled all the information correctly. You can also go at the bottom and open and check the output of the next service, which is, in this case, it was basically a GPT analyzer. And this is the output of the GPT. So it gave us the analysis of this risk factor of this company. So you can see, like, it did a little bit of analysis here: allowance for doubtful accounts, significant allowance for doubtful accounts, indicating risk related to the account receivable, market risk, and so on. So it scanned the entire text. These are 50 pages or more, and it pulled this specific risk factors from it automatically. And this will be useful for us later on when we're going to do the analysis with Claude. So yeah, basically this is it. I have another one for NVIDIA here. Just want to show you guys. This is for NVIDIA. NVIDIA looks good. They have good financial metrics. As you can see here, this is a pretty complex table. As you can see, the layout changed. So instead of having 2 columns, now it has 4 columns. And it went ahead and extracted the right information from it. And of course, if there's any mistakes, you can teach the model. And this is really the power of Kudra. So let's say this is should not be here. You can actually delete this. What is this, by the way? Gross profit priority. You can delete this. And you can actually label directly on the platform. You can label directly on the platform. And this is the way you teach the model. So next time, the model is not going to make the mistake. Right now, it didn't make mistakes, so I'm going to keep it the same. And that's it. Yeah. So basically, this is the first part of the extraction. So as you can see here, 52 pages. We can process up to 100 pages. This is AMD. Again, it extracts the information correctly. So now that we have extracted the information correctly, we can export it out. So all you have to do is simply click on this download extracted data and click on the CSV format. And the data looks like this. So you will end up with, this is just a small sample, but you will get your label. Each label is in a column like this, cost of revenue, cost of goods, and so on. And these are all the financial metrics that we wanted to extract. In addition, you'll also see the risk factors output here for each document. All right. So now that we have the extracted data, now we're going to feed this to Claude and try to extract meaningful insights from it. So all we have to do is go back to Claude here. I think I already have it. All right. So here, all I did was I gave that CSV file that I extracted from Kudra, which has all the structured information. And then we fed this to Claude and asked it questions. Can you describe the documents? You can prompt it, basically. You can even chat with it. You can ask it a question about it. So ask it to please analyze quarter-to-quarter financial data and so on. And the nice thing about Claude is it also creates some kind of web application for you with no code. That's really powerful. And as you can see here, so it took the data and extracted basically the revenue, the gross profit, total assets. You can see this interactive chart here, 2023 Q2, Q3, gross profit and revenue, balance sheet. So just like that, basically, we went from a messy and structured PDF to insight, pretty much. And we did this in less than 5 minutes. This is really the power of it. This is going to change a lot of things. You don't need like an analyst to do this. Basically, all you have to do is extract information accurately using Kudra, and then basically leverage these LLMs to extract insights from them. So if we click on this tab here, we can see the income statement. Well, here somehow it's not working, but anyway, I also did the same analysis for NVIDIA, and I think it's here. Yep, this is NVIDIA. So I took the CSV file that I've extracted from NVIDIA. This is for a year worth of thank yous. So I have 4 thank yous for NVIDIA. And then I wanted to know the revenue trends. So I can see the revenue is increasing for NVIDIA, revenue and income as well. I can see the gross profit comparison here. I can see the growth rate on the other hand. So the growth rate decreased. So this is quarter-over-quarter growth. And you can see that it actually decreased in May 2024, which might raise some signals. The gross profit margin increased overall. Debt to equity ratio decreased. Return on asset and return on equity. This is a specific ratio I asked Claude to basically analyze. I think I put it in the prompt somewhere. And it basically created this chart directly. In addition to that, we can see the risk factor analysis. So basically here, it took the output of Kudra, which is the GPT analysis from that 50-page financial statement. It took that risk factor analysis and it created a summary of it. So here, as you can see, the risk factors from one quarter to another, how they are changing, and gives a recommendation here on basically what to do. Is this a good investment or not? So here it does say consider NVIDIA as a strong potential investment, but be careful with risk management and so on. But yeah, here, I think you got the point. The point is you can basically quickly distill information from your any PDF, any documents, basically. It could be financial document, could be healthcare, could be supply chain and logistics. And then you can basically structure that data using Kudra and then use it in a very accurate way and insightful way to extract information from it. Whether using Claude in this case, or using GPT, or using your own database later on. So the goal is really to get that really accurate information first. I think that's it. So basically, we covered most of the aspect of this platform, both Claude and Kudra.